Yes, I made that title a little bit shorter, so it's not quite as long. Did go on for a bit, didn't it? Hello, everyone. Welcomes. Hope you can all see and hear me okay. I'm going to move something out of the way. It's getting in my face. Welcome to another last-minute live stream, which is scheduled at the normal time of my Cyberpunk stream. But, as you know, I'm building the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness set, and it's taken forever, so I'm using all the time I've got to crack on with that. So I thought, I can't really take 3 hours out of that to play a game, so I'll crack on building it. Now, if you watched this yesterday, we built 3 Space Marines, 3 Spec Marines, 3 Legionaries, because these are legions at this point in the history of the Empire, don't forget. We built 3 of these, and we're going to crack on building more. We've got 38 things to build, 39 things to build yet, and 28 of them are more Legionaries, 10 of them are Cataphracti Terminators, and then there's a dirty great big tank. So we've got all this stuff to do. So many things. So we'll probably get to see if we can get another 2 or 3 of these done today. But before we do, of course, let me do all the usual shout-outs and shenanigans. First and foremost, big thank you to my channel sponsor, get my words out, channel sponsor, emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Do check them out, link in the description below if you want to go and check them out. Lots of savings to be had. I've got something in my mouth, hang on. There's like a little, I think I've got like a toothbrush bristle stuck in my teeth. In my mouth somewhere, hang on. There we go, it's better. You know, like, sometimes you lose a bristle on your toothbrush and it gets stuck in between 2 teeth, and it's like, it just pinged out, and I'm like, there's an organism in my face, what? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, emodels.co.uk, link in the description below the video. Cool place to go for all your model making needs. And of course, big thank you to my patrons and channel members who support this channel directly. They literally pay my wages, and without them and my sponsor, I would have to go and get a job. I couldn't do this, couldn't spend all day doing this at home, couldn't be looking after Mama Fox because I'm at home all day. So big massive thank you to them for supporting this channel. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do. You can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru, that address there. And you can become a channel patron, or you can click the join button underneath the video, or any of my videos, and become a channel. I must change that to say press the button. It says super chat. I don't know why it doesn't say just press the join button. Oh well. Yes, you can press the join button and become a channel member. And again, you can support the channel. You get lots of good stuff. If you're a channel member, you get little icons in the chat and everything else. You also get access to exclusive stuff and all kinds of bits and bobs, posts in the members' posts and the patron posts. And whether you're a patron or a channel member, you get access to the live offline 24/7 Zoom hangout, where all the patrons and members of my channel and Colin's channel over at Festi67's workshop can hang out together any time of the day, any time they want, and just chill out at the bench or whatever, while on camera or just talking. So do check out all the links for those in the description below. If you're a patron or a member already and you're not in that hangout, or you're not in the Facebook group, go and check out the links in the description below. It'll tell you how to get access to them. So there we go. So that's all that stuff. Don't forget, of course, if you are watching this, as you can see, I do have the chat here in front of me. So as always, please, dear Lord, please give me things to talk about, interact in chat, ask me questions, anything you want, any questions at all. No politics, no religion, anything like that. But obviously anything else is pretty much fair game. Give me things to talk about for the next 2 or 3 hours. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here sanding and you'll be sitting there bored. I know a lot of you have this on in the background, so it's just the audio you're picking up. So, yeah, it's not exciting watching me glue things together, but you're listening to all the rubbish that comes out of my mouth hole. So that's what you watch me for. So big thank you to all of them. Don't forget, of course, if you're watching this and you're not in the live chat, do come and join it. If you're watching it embedded on Facebook or Twitter, you can click on the YouTube icon at the bottom right of the video player. That'll take you to YouTube. Hang on, tea. I'm talking rubbish already. Big cup of tea. That will take you to YouTube, where you can continue watching and you can join the live chat. And if you want to get my attention in chat, you can either put my name in orange, you can do @modelmakingguru, it highlights my name and I see it scroll past while it's all out of focus when my lens is on. Or you can do a super chat. You can press the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window, and that will put your comment in a coloured box. You get a little animation up there in the corner, and I can't in any way miss your comment at that point. So there you go. So big thank you. You're also supporting the channel at the same time. Now, let's have a look. So who's in chat? We have Wendy Hickson and Panzer Cat with the first 2 in chat. Big hugs to you, Wendy, and to Panzer. And George Gabriel, of course, big massive hugs to you, George. Hope you're doing okay, buddy. He says, start faster. So just for George, I pressed the go button 4 minutes early. I left it on the test card for an extra minute, but I still pressed the button early. You didn't say to start the actual show, you just said start. So, I'm like a genie. You have to be specific with your requests, otherwise it might go horribly wrong. So big hugs to all you three. Box Fox Scooter's in. He says, no way, back-to-back Fox streams. Oh yeah, I always stream on a Friday, and as best I can try to. I always stream. Something happened. JC Bricks and Builds has become a channel member for the last 6 months. He's just a reminder saying he's been a member. Afternoon Fox and all in chat. Fox Hugs, he says, welcome mate. Welcome, thank you for coming in, James. Excuse me. What was I saying? I was saying something. Yes, I stream on a Friday. I normally stream Fallout on a Friday, and then Skyrim. It used to be Skyrim. At the moment, it's Cyberpunk on a Saturday, and then on Sunday. And it's just not always possible to use those 2 slots. But sometimes I'll try every Friday and Saturday if I can. But yes, but I'm doing this. The best day. It says back-to-back Fox streams, best day. And Panzer Cat says that depends on what Fox is streaming. Yes. Jeff Light is in. Welcome, Jeff. Hello, welcome. Big hugs. And of course, James is in from JC Bricks and Builds. And that's everyone in chat so far. So if you are watching, come and join chat. There's 11 of you watching, but there's not 11 of you in chat. So come and join chat. If you're on a mobile device, like a tablet or a phone or something, it might be underneath the video, so scroll down a bit. Now, let's crack on with the work. So we are building the Space Marines. This is the Age of Darkness set. It comes with 40 legionaries, of whom 8 are sergeants or Vox / Vexilla carriers. So I've built the 4 Vexillarius, I've built the 4 Nuncio Vox operators, I've built the 2 Praetors, so that's 8, 9, 10. I built 10 dudes of those. I've also built, wait, what have I done? 4. I've lost my track now. I've done 4 Vexillarius, 4 Nuncio Vox, that's 8, 2 Praetors, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13. So I've got 3 legionaries. So I've got 28 legionaries to do, and I've done 3 of them. I'm sure I've done something else. I've built the Dreadnought. That's been done in a very, very nice, jolly pose. So I've got 28 of these to build now, and I have the 10 Cataphracti Terminators. Oh, there's 4 sergeants as well. I forgot them. So I built 4 sergeants. So it's 12. 14, 50, I've built 17. So yeah, we've got millions of these to build. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm breaking it up a little bit. I'm going to build 10 of these guys. So I built the 12 legionary base figures and the 2 Praetors. Then I stopped and I built the Dreadnought. And then I came back to these. I'm going to build 10 of these guys. And then once I've built 10 of these guys, I'm going to switch and I'm going to go and build the Terminators. And then when I've built them, I'll come and build the rest of the Legionaries. When I finish that, I'll build the tank. It's just breaking it up because building like 40 of these guys, one after the other, it's a bit, yes. Box Fox says, my Ultramarines are the best Space Marines. No, not Ultramarines. No, don't do Ultramarines. No, don't do Ultramarines. Space Wolves. These are my space. These are going to be space puppies. Space puppers. Right, so we've done these 3. On each sprue you get 5 Space Marines. You basically get 8 sprues, and when you buy a pack of the tacticals, it's going to be 2 lots of 5, the same. So I've built the first 3. I've got 2 more to do, and then we start again with the first 1. So we've done 1, 2, and 3. It's time to build pose 4, which is a bit of a boring pose, and pose 5 is a bit more interesting, a bit more of a walking pose, which is quite good. We'll get pose 4 out of the way, but we're going to be here for a while. Panzer Cat says, wait, he's asking us questions. That's not how this works. There is one question I have to ask, of course, which is, of course, bench and belly. What's on the bench and what's in your belly? What are you working on? And what are you having for your dinner, or what have you had for your dinner? I have no idea what I'm having for my dinner. Mama Fox is going to have sushi later on. I have no idea what I'm going to have. At this point, it could be anything. I've not actually put anything out to defrost, so it's going to be something I don't need to defrost. George says, I need to build mine. Yeah, I need to paint yours, George. I need to find time to paint your Space Marines from the... What was it set? The Thingamajig set. I can't get my words out. This is going to be a really crap stream because I can't even make sentences. Conquest, that's it. Conquest set. I have actually forgotten, George, what colours I used to paint those 20 Marines you've already got. So that's going to be interesting. 20, 21, 19. So let's get some buildications done. Now I'm keeping these guys out because as I'm building them in squads of 5 and units of 10, I want to make sure they're not all looking in the same way. So I don't want to build this guy twice and just happen to have him having the same head post, because it looks a bit rubbish. So I'm going to keep these out as I'm working, just to keep things varied. So we'll get the parts off for pose number 5. Cashier number 4, please. So anyway, I hope you're all well and fine and dandy. I myself am indeed fine and dandy. I'm in here doing this. It's actually, I've got the window closed because it's a little bit chilly today, but with the window closed and all the lights on, it's actually nice and warm. I can keep my shorts on. I don't have to put my big floppy cotton pants on, but I'm feeling nice and warm. It was a bit chilly before I turned all the lights on. A little bit chilly. So, feeling good today. I need head number. Which head do I need? 42. Because the heads don't actually correspond to the bit of the sprue they're on. So, this is very good. So, we'll be doing this today. And then, after I've done that, I'll go and make Mama Fox some dinner and think of my dinner. And then, once I've done that, I'll come back and do more of these. I haven't done anything since I did these 3 yesterday. I didn't come back to the bench. My lenses are covered in schmutz. Hang on. Do you know, my life is a constant, endless cycle of cleaning glasses all the damn time. We're up to, right, JC Bricks and Builds, Belly, Fish Fingers and Chips, ooh, Bench, Revell with 72nd Lancaster, and Lego Dilophosaurus. I've not got me, I wasn't looking at that properly. I nearly said Diplodocus, but Dilophosaurus, or Dilophosaurus. I like the herbivores. Dilophosaurus is quite cool. Wait. Dilophosaurus. Wait, is that the one in Jurassic Park that completely falsely has the frills that come out? Which is not how Dilophosaurus looked at all. It is, isn't it? It's not a hadrosaur, is it? I'm thinking of... what am I getting mixed up with? The other one that I can't remember the name of. I can't remember now. Yes, Dilophosaurus is the one where it goes and spits and the frills come out, which is not in any way related to the actual fossil. Jurassic Park is so inaccurate when it comes to dinosaurs. You think they would have fixed it over the years, but no. Box Fox says, Belly, burgers and corn on the cob, bench, restoring a little wood box. Cool. I hope you're in the Model Maker's Boom Hut, Box Fox. If you are, make sure to put pictures up. Any kind of creative work is allowed in the Boom Hut. It's not just about scale models. I've got torso, arms, head. I cut the leg off by accident yesterday, so I've already got that. I need a base. Base! How low can you go? Do. Now, I did some research this morning because yesterday we were talking about national anthems, and I was remarking how the national anthem of Russia, which I think is just called the National Anthem of Russia or the Russian State National Anthem, it's got a really boring name, is copyrighted and you can't use it without permission for commercial use. And I said that was unusual and like the only one. I was in fact incorrect, because I'm looking at the instructions and not taking them in, because I was planning to change my streaming setup a little bit so that on demand, or whenever I needed to, I could change the theme tune. When I start, like, say, these streams, I could swap and change the theme tune to other things. Like, at the moment, I've got my theme tune going, my token theme tune, which everybody knows me for, which is called Jinxie, Tinkle and Mush, which is not available. It's not in public domain. All my music's in public domain, apart from that one. You can't have that one. And sometimes I use O Canada, and I thought, you know what, I was talking about Advanced Australia later today. I should put Advanced Australia on there because it's so fun. And I looked into it. Apparently, Advanced Australia is not well, it is. This is the weird thing. I read the blurb on the government website about can you use Advanced Australia, and it says the music and lyrics to Advanced Australia are in the public domain. I thought, brilliant, I can use them without any consequences. And then it says, however, the Australian government holds the copyright for the music and lyrics of Advanced Australia. I'm like, wait, that's not how copyright works in public domain. If you can't say it's in the public domain and then exert copyright on the music and the lyrics, you can exert the copyright on a specific recording. So I read further and it says you can do whatever you want with it. It's in the public domain for non-profit. But if it's a commercial use, you have to apply for permission. I'm like, that's not how public domain works, dude. Really, this is not actually how public domain actually works. So I decided not to bother. I was going to put it on the stream this morning as the loading music, the title music, but because it would have been funny. But no. So I decided, because the guidelines say it's both copyrighted and public domain, which is complete nonsense. It's like saying, this tastes like cheese and also like not like cheese at the same time. But no, what? This red car is both red and also a different colour completely. No, it's red what? Yeah, again, it makes no sense. This backpack's already pre-cleaned. How have I done that? Okay, that's cool. So, yeah, I gave up and thought, you know what, I'm not going to take the risk. So I stand corrected. There are other national anthems which are not freely publicly available. New Zealand's is completely in the public domain. Of course, the US one, the American national anthem is in the public domain. God Save the Queen, the British one, is also in the public domain. And did you know that New Zealand, g'day bro, New Zealand, kia ora bro, is the only country to have 2 official national anthems. Yes, because it has both God Protect, what's it called? God Protect New Zealand, I think it's called. It's a nice tune, very hymnal. Is it God Protect New Zealand, I think it's called. I'm not really keen on the link on the religious nonsense, but God Protect New Zealand, or whatever it's called, and God Save the Queen, because, you know, the Queen, because they're British territory or colonial territory, so they still maintain connection to the Queen. So yeah, they have 2, and you can use either, certain ones in certain situations. Which I didn't know that. So you learn a thing every day. You always learn something with Fox. Learn with Fox. But I've still got Advanced Australia in my brain. Unfortunately, I discovered that the recording I have of Advanced Australia by the US Marine Band, which makes the recording public domain, but not the actual tune, is the serious one. I was saying yesterday how it's like a real cheesy game show piece of music. There is one I've had that I listened to once that was like really cheesily done, like a game show. And it was just so cheesy. But the one I've got is the US Marine Band, and it's all serious. So if you do want to use national anthems in your videos, try and get a recording of the US Marine Corps Band, because they've got recordings of all of them, because they've performed all of them, and they are by default a performance by the United States government, and therefore by default, if you look them up, they are within the public domain. So that specific performance of the tune, whatever it might be, is in the public domain. However, you also need to check if the actual piece of music is in the public domain, which in most cases it is, but it's always worth checking. But don't just go and find, you know, whatever national anthem on the internet and assume it's copyright free because it's a national anthem. Check that it's the US Marine Corps Band, because they are guaranteed to be public domain. Unless, of course, it's somebody's posted a video, somebody's filmed the US Marine Corps Band performing a national anthem, and it's on a YouTube film, because then it's copyright to whoever filmed it. Yeah, you need to understand copyright, really, if you're going to do any kind of video work. Glad you asked, Fox. Oh, we've done that one. Oh no, we haven't. Glad you asked, Fox, says Panzer. Belly bacon rolls with extra bacon and HP sauce. Oh, bench T72 tank. Bacon with bacon. Extra bacon's always required when you got bacon. Jeff Light says hi, Wendy, and JC Bricks and Bill says yes, it's a lizard type looking thing. I've completely forgotten what we're talking about now. What we're talking about? What was I talking about? I've got no idea what I was talking about. What were we talking about? Lizard thing, what? I've got no idea what I was talking about like 5 minutes ago. So that's all gone horribly wrong now, isn't it? It's a lizard type looking thing. You have to remind me what I was... I don't listen to myself, so... Sorry. I'm worse than Chris. I'm worse than Chris sometimes. Chris never notices to chat comments, and Colin never scrolls up. Chris misses everything, and Colin never scrolls up. I'm like them, both of them combined sometimes. So yes, what have you all been up to today? It's a cool day today. It's not a warm day. It's a bit chilly today. I'll say it's warmer in here with all the lights on. It's not really a day for going out in the garden. But yeah, how's your day been so far? How's your weekend going? The start to your weekend, if it's Saturday where you are. What have you got planned this weekend? Who's got what planned this weekend? What have you got going on? You don't have to tell me, obviously. It might be something really personal. But what have you got booked in this weekend? What are you looking forward to? I have nothing, of course, planned other than this now and then Warhammer Sunday tomorrow. And then lots more building Space Marines, basically. I've been very good. I've not even turned the Xbox on in a week. Because I've got to get this done. I can't get a grip of this arm that allows me to get the scribing tool into the little gap. That's quite frustrating. Let's try it that way around. La 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 la. Oops, it's dropping. Oh yes, it's the lizard type looking thing, the Dilophosaurus. That's it. Yeah, that's unfortunately that's nothing what a Dilophosaurus would look like. And paleontologists find it highly unlikely that there will be any kind of frills on the neck because there's no structures on the skeleton, on the bones recovered to reflect that. This information courtesy of the wonderful channel Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong, which discussed just that matter. If you've never watched their stuff, go and subscribe to Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong. It's a fantastic channel. Right, I'm trying to keep a pile of my tools neat and tidy. Let's put that over there. Let's put my nippers over there so I can reach for them all the time. There we go. I'm trying to keep everything in a nice neat line on my bench, all the bits, the tools, just because it feels good. Right. I do now have Advanced Australia in my head, of course. Question Fox, says Panzer. Who owns the rights to pre-1946 German national anthem? He asks with a mischievous grin. Well, it's the same national anthem, isn't it? They just changed the wordings. Is it not? I don't know. I don't know what they did to the national anthem during the World War IIs. I'm pretty sure it was still Deutschland, Deutschland über alles, which is today. They just changed the wording. But, ow, dropping, sorry. Don't mean to make loud noises. Where's my scrap? There it is. Good question, though. I would assume it will be, even though it's no longer a government that exists, it will be a government recording and therefore in the public domain, I would guess. Just cleaning up the little ribbed parts in the inner elbow. Scribing tool in the recesses to get rid of the mould line, and then the damp, ever so slightly mildly dampest touch of extra thin, just to smooth away all the rough scrapings. Scraping! Oh, as it reminds me, I've got a face to clean on here, haven't I? I left somebody with a big mould line on their schnoz. It was that one? I think it was that one. Come here, you. You thought I'd forgotten. I had not forgotten. I had forgotten, but I haven't now. There we go. And I'll bring that back to do this on this head. Cy Reynolds is in. Hey, how's it going, Foxicle? I'm building Le Kratos. Are you still on the first 10 Marines? Hey, Cy, welcome. No. I have built 4 sergeants, as I call them big birds, because they've got the feathery thing on the head. I've built 4 sergeants. I've built 4 Vexillarius, or Vexillari, and I've built 4 of the Nuncio Vox operators. I've also built the 2 Praetors, and I've built the... I can't get the words. The big dude. The Dreadnought. I gave him the campist pose. You'll have a look on the Facebooks, you'll see. He's got the campulatoriest pose. accidentally. It just kind of came out looking a bit like Michelangelo pose. Like he's reaching to touch the hand of God or something, the hand of creation. So, yeah, this will be my 13th, 14th and 15th. These are now just basic legionary. So 13th, 14th and 15th. This will be my 16th legionary. If you exclude this, the sergeants and other bits and bobs. No. Yeah. I'm getting confused. Don't make me do maths. It's not even Wednesday yet. Yeah, the Contemptor, awesome, steaming along then. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you with my showing hand. I gave him a kind of like, I want to go over there pose. He's like saying, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. These are all nice dresses. I want that one as well. He's just kind of, I decided to give him a bit of a, I learned yesterday the proper name for when you pose someone with one foot on the ground and one foot up, and it's contrapporto, I think it is, which is why it looks a bit Renaissance. So he's all... I did find the head doesn't really turn all the way, so he's not quite looking where he's pointing. So you have to assume his eyes are actually looking more to the right than to the left than his actual head is. So there you go. And I gave him the melter purely because I enjoy painting that burnt metal. I can do the scorched hot bronze brass kind of effect on the front. That's the entire reason I gave him the melter. There you go. They're done. Not to your quality, of course, but I'm going really slowly. You'd be proud of me. I'm going really, really slowly. You all know Si Reynolds, it takes him like a month to do a backpack. It's taking me about that. I'm going really slowly, but because I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having the fun. Need a dreadnought with a top hat and a cane now, says Vox Fox. Oh, yeah. And a monocle. A monocle. Let's have a look. Panzercat says, plans for today. I was sleeping earlier, now eating the aforementioned noms, later work again. Andy McLeish is in, says, blah. How you doing, Andy? You've got the chocolate velociraptor, haven't you? Everybody give Andy hugs. He's poorly sick with the germ. The dreaded germ of current affairs. Bless him. You're still with us? You're not carked it then? Good. You're not allowed to cark it because then we'd lose our source of absolute nonsense. Nobody nonsenses like Andy McLeish. Andy McLeish is sneezing. Jeff is in. Candy Ground for Mongo. Welcome, Jeff. Welcome. Nice to see you. Haha. Looks cool though, says Sight, if not somewhat camp. Yeah. Well, the thing is, you've seen my fabulous Tempestus Scion, haven't you? So he kind of goes with that. I need to have him there and then have like the Tempestus Scion stood next to him going, fabulous. If you don't know what my fabulous Tempestus Scion is, if you give me a minute, I'll put a link in the chat for you. You can have a look. I'll just get rid of these mold lines. It was a Tempestus Scion that I decided to give a more interesting pose, and it just came out looking so camp that what I then intended to do was build a 5-man squad of Tempestus Scions that were designed to be the Emperor's Own Light Entertainment Division. So that they would be, you know, they'd fight in battles, but they'd also do like musical numbers on stage to entertain the troops when they weren't fighting. So they'd have maybe like, you know, very nicely pastel coloured armour perhaps. Purely because of the way this Tempestus Scion Sergeant came out. So if you give me a second, I'll show you the picture. Let me do that for you. 1 second. I'll need to pop up one of these and do one of those. Where are we? 1 second, kids. Give me 1 moment. I will provide for you the amusing picture of fantabulousness. Because he is my fabulous Tempestus Scion. Let me put it in the chat for you. I'll find the chat. I didn't plan that very well because I've not got the chat open. Right, let's get that. I know the camera's wobbling. I do, but it's because I'm using my computer. And the lamp is attached to the computer desk. But trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. You'll love it. This is where the stream falls over now because I'm trying to do 15 things at once. There we go. And wait for the chat to come up. Come on. I don't know if anybody uses Chrome out there, but if anybody out there who uses Chrome, have you noticed that all of a sudden YouTube is absolute garbage and sticks and hangs all the time? It can't just be me. Because if I open YouTube in Edge, it's perfectly smooth, but if I open it in Chrome, it's like, it's just, it's horrible. Yeah, so there's the link. My picture of the fabulous Tempestus Scion Sergeant. There you go. I must paint him at some point. Si saying hello to Uncle Jeff. Great to see you as always, Si. Hope stuff's great with you. Today's word is contrapposto. And Jeff says, yeah, but Si's backpack will be better than the prototype used to make the mould. That's true. Panzer Cat fluffs his tail just for Andy. I'm not even going to ask about that one. And Si says, I'm very happy to report I'm the happiest I've been in the last decade, Jeff. Me and the missus have created an awesome nerdy home. So happy. Environment really makes a difference. Yeah, there you go. Make yourself a little nest. And then that's where you're happiest. I don't. Eventually I'll have to get my own place, you know, and move out and at some point, says the 50-year-old man. But I don't need a big place. I don't need bigness. I need a room. I need a workbench, a kitchen, a sleeping area, and obviously the bathroom for the washing and the pooping. And that's all I need. That is all I require in this life. And obviously an area big enough to put a whole load of Detolf shelves as well, to do all the storing. Marcus Broom puts a super chat in. Marcus, thank you very, very much. Evening Fox and all in chat. Can't stay long. Have a great evening. Marcus, there you go. I can have a great evening now that A, you're here, and B, you've put that super chat in. Thank you very much. You are super kind. He's lovely, is Marcus. Keeps me and Colin off the street corners. Can't fault him. Big hugs to you, dude. Si Reynolds says, hi Marcus, hides his brand new lamp. Yes. Do. Can't wait to get my new glasses. If you didn't watch yesterday, I went to the opticians on Tuesday to have an eye test for other reasons, and while I was there I thought, screw it, I might as well just get retested for my prescription and get some new glasses because mine are a bit old. So I'll pick up my new glasses on Tuesday, sorry. Tuesday this week coming up. And I can't wait to try out my new YouTubing glasses, which I've requested because of my sensitivity to light. They've got graded, graduated lenses with a tint so that I've not got bright light shining in my eyes. I can't wait to try that. See if I can get rid of having headaches all the time. And I'll look a little bit like Jeff Lynne, which is brilliant, because I love Jeff Lynne. I won't look. They're not like big 1980s round glasses, but I don't know if they'll be dark enough, but I'll be channeling Jeff Lynne a little bit. I'll either get them on Tuesday and they'll be perfect, or I'll need to send them back for a bit more darkening if they're not dark enough, but yes, I can't wait that. So in the coming weeks, whenever you see me on camera, facing the camera, you'll see me with my awesome graduated tint, not sunglasses. But I can pretend to be an egotistical YouTuber who just wears sunglasses all the time. Because, you know. Hey Fox, download a Lynx browser and you won't have a problem with YouTube, Snicker, says Candygram. No. I don't even know what a Lynx browser is. I mean, Edge is fine. It works fine on Edge. It's only YouTube that's given me a problem. At first I thought it was Chrome being weird, but it's not. It's just YouTube. I've turned off my extensions. I've got like various, like, you know, don't autoplay video type extension and a YouTube extension. Turn them off and it didn't make any difference. So I can only assume that YouTube have done something in the last week or so to make a change, and it's not quite sitting well with Chrome. Because nothing else is affected. It's like if I scroll down, it'll scroll a little bit and then stop for like 2 seconds. Or if I'm typing into a chat box, I'll type it, it'll just stop doing anything for like 5 seconds. But just in YouTube, in any part of YouTube. Most frustrating. Or even Opera. Opera is greater than Chrome, says Si Reynolds. Yeah. No. I've got Edge in for emergencies. Hello, Mama Fox.
Hello.
I've got Edge for emergencies. I use Edge to do when I do my StreamYard multi-person streams, I use Edge for streaming because it's smaller than Chrome. I only actually installed Edge anyway because I used it to get the points to get free Xbox Live. You know, so you can build your reward points. And then I accidentally subscribed to another year and was like, oh well, don't need to do that now. Oh, fail. That's that one cleaned up. Cleaning up these Marines is such a quick task compared to Primaris Marines. You'll need a very small drill bit though for your barrels, Si Reynolds, because these barrels are smaller than standard bolter barrels, and the smallest Games Workshop drill bit is not small enough. At least not to do the first hole. That's a bit frustrating. That's a little bit frustrating. It's a bit nerve-wracking drilling out the barrels because they are so small. You know, like if you drill out a barrel but you're not quite in the middle, it's not usually the end of the world because you can start with a small bit and you can just expand it with a knife. With these, they're so small, even with a small bit, you've not got a lot of room for manoeuvre if you go wrong. So, yeah. My Samsung internet starts flashing whenever I exit and go back into YouTube, so it's not just you, it's the default browser for that. Ah. Yeah, they must have... Either YouTube's done something that's gone a bit funky, or I was about to say, oh, Google's changed something, but YouTube is Google, so they probably changed something, and it's just having a bit of an issue. The only problem I have using Edge is that Edge didn't carry... I transferred all my Google, my Chrome bookmarks to Edge, and it kind of copied them across, but it weirdly copied them across six months in the past. Like, I had let's say X number of, let's say I had 100 shortcuts on my menus, and then, but 6 months ago I may have had 70 and they're in different order, and I reorganized them all. When I copied it all across from Chrome to Edge, it copied them all across as they were 6 months in the past. It's really weird. It's like, hang on a minute, this is what my favourites were 6 months ago. I've changed it since then. Why? How's it gone back in time? So now I've got even though they're all synced up together, it's not copied across. It's kind of frustrating. But when I'm watching Disney and stuff like that, anything on Disney Plus or anything, I use Edge, just because it's less system intensive and therefore my fan's quieter. I try and avoid watching too much on Chrome if I can help it. But I don't like Bing search. I do not like searching for stuff on Bing, so I use Chrome for everything else. Right, that's that gun cleaned up. Let's get the barrel drilled. Just clean up a little bit more, actually. Drill out your barrel. I have 2mm upwards, so I should be fine. Yeah, I thought you might be. Lynx browser is a text-only browser which was created in 1992 and still maintained. It does not support graphics of any sort. The main problem using Edge is that you're using Edge. I know. I only got it installed because I wanted the points thing. Because when you do the Microsoft reward points, you have to do it on the console and on computer. And it's do 20 Bing searches, and that's fine. It takes 2 minutes. And it's you get various points for doing searches in Edge, so you need Edge. It's The conspiracy stimulant wants to say that Google is doing this on purpose to make you download Chrome. What, making YouTube worse in Chrome? It sounds more like they're doing it to make us want to go and download something else. Right. Yes, it's fine in Edge. It's Chrome that it's garbage in. So they're making it worse in their own product. That doesn't seem to make any sense. Right, let's see if we can... I've not had any problems with drilling out barrels so far. I've been lucky. I've not screwed anything up, but I fully expect to screw up at least one barrel. I would not be surprised. Although I've been bizarrely quite lucky so far. Maybe you should try snickering. Firefox, says Box Fox. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Box Fox. I got excited today. I thought I saw the fox in the garden creeping through the long grass at the back. Our local urban fox. But it wasn't. It was the fat orange cat from next door. I was like, oh. But I'll tell you what was weird. It likes to get into our garden and sit on this little stone bench that's halfway down the garden. And it looks in the grass for like mice and things to hunt. Came out quite nicely. And it just sits there and it's a bit fat and it's quite charming. It's a bit finicky. It doesn't come to you if you call it. It kind of runs away. But it walked into the garden, and as it was walking towards I was in the kitchen doing something in the kitchen, making a brew. So it walked towards me, facing towards me about 20 feet away, and I waved. I don't know why, I just waved at it. And it stopped and sat down and looked at me. And then I finished making Mama Fox a cup of tea, and I walked from the kitchen into the living room. And when I walked, it was following me all the way. And when I walked away from the window, it was looking at me. And when I went through into a different room and into the living room and looked at the French window at the back, the cat was looking through the French window right at me. And it's like, how did it know? Because there's like net curtains and stuff between us. It couldn't really see me that well because it's dark inside. So how did it know I'd gone into that? It's weird. It's like it followed me around the room. There were eyes. Chumby Foxo. I don't know what that means. Chumby. Isn't a Chumby an alien off Doctor Who from like the 1950s? Right, now I need one of these horrible pauldrons. Let's get this pauldron cleaned up. Gentlemen, clean your pauldrons. Where's my knife? Right, get this done, then we can glue all his bits. Matron. Glue your bits. I don't like using a knife for this, but I have no choice, as I'm not on camera for a start, as I'm not on... I think I've got this small enough to get in there. But these will be painted black, so that's a bit of a small mercy. It'll hide a lot of sins. Sorry, Reynolds is pulling his hair out right now. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? No. We shall see how this comes out. Right, let's get a bit of sandings. Sanding, rawhide. Let's see how this comes out. Can you tell what it is yet? Wait, did I just do a Horus Heresy? Sorry. I apologise. Right, Sandy. I've still got Advanced Australia in my head. God damn it. G'day, bro. Right. So they're not perfect, but once I've give it a softening moisturisation of extra thin, and it's got primer on it and then paint on it, and I've put some wash over it and a little bit of weathering and chipping, hopefully any transgressions will be hidden forever. Probably could hear your footsteps, says Box Fox. No, it was about 30 feet away, halfway down the garden. They've got double glazing, so it's a fat cat. Probably was working out if it could hunt and eat fox. Yeah, could be. Andy McLeish says, as a Google Insider, yes, that's the thing and part of my job, Chrome only works 100% as it should on phones. Desktop Chrome eats RAM and resources. Also, desktop Chrome is prone to breaking. Yeah, I know. I've had it for years. It's kind of... I got Chrome many years ago when the other option was basically Internet Explorer. But I hated Internet Explorer, and everybody hated Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer was horrible. But I like Chrome now because it's kind of where all my ecosystem is. It's where all my favourites and things are. Obviously everything else ties into it, like my Google account and everything else. And it's just force of habit now. But it's kind of, I don't mind it so much. I don't use it, like I say, when I'm streaming through StreamYard, I don't use it because it's too resource intensive. And I watch things, if I'm streaming content, that's usually through Edge anyway. But I still keep it around because it's my Gmail and everything else, and I've got the account, and I'm also far too stupid and lazy to change it. Let's just get to the crunch there. Okay, so that will get rid of any scrapey marks. Slightest touch of extra thin. It probably won't really look very good, but we'll be fine. Worry about that when it comes to it. Swig of tea. Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. Right. We've got all the bits for him, I think. I'm not putting all the accessories on yet. It's just basically building the dudes. Let's build Ant-Man. Ant-Man, Spaceman. Andy McLeish is saying hello to everybody, like 15 minutes after he came in. Good go. Well done, that man. Right, it's leg day. Let's get a bit of hot leg action going on. Oops, ping. I forgot to mention it also works properly on Chromebooks too. Yeah, that would kind of make sense. But why is Chrome designed to work better on mobiles then if it came out before smartphones were a thing? Because Chrome came out as a competitor to Internet Explorer on desktop. There were no like internet phones back in them days. Not really. Back in the early to mid 1990s, whenever it was, surely there was no mobile internet. Or is it just in later iterations it was adapted for mobile more than desktop? Fascists. Seems a bit wrong to me, that. Touch glue to get in that joint. Get in that joint. Okay. Now we shall apply him to his base of standination. The irony is in the name. Irony. But what makes me even more amused is isn't Edge based on Chromium though? So Edge isn't that far removed from Chrome anyway. Isn't Edge a Chromium based browser? I don't understand such things. I probably shouldn't get involved in that conversation as I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll just come out sounding stupid. Something happened. Butch Brosman subscribed. Thank you very much, Butch Brosman. Welcome to the channel. I hope you find something to tickle that fancy of yours. Feel free to love my stuff and become a member or a patron. That'll be lovely. I've got glue on my fingers. Glue on my fingers. Right. Next we have the back piece. Herbert Backpiece. Accountant to the criminally inept. I'll get that on there. I think I might have some bits to clean up on those other guys. Still, I can't remember now. Oops. So, anyway, yeah, so for the love of dog, because I can't think of anything to talk about, because I've told you all about going to opticians, and that's all I've done this week, apart from this. So, for the love of dog, ask me questions. Anything you want. No religion, no politics, but anything else is fair game. I'm an expert on nothing. Well, I probably am an expert on something, but I don't know what. I'm an expert on how to make the perfect green pot noodle, but that's about it. Squeezy, lemon easy, gets the glue squidging out. Did you hear the rumour that Google accidentally made artificial intelligence? Yes, a Google developer claimed, or he felt that one of their conversational chat AIs was actually conscious and aware. But if you actually read the transcript, it's like, don't know. And like everybody else kind of went, no. You're just kind of seeing a pattern where there isn't one. Yes, I don't know. I wasn't convinced by his argument. Funny you should say that. The default Android browser was the precursor to Chrome, and yet more development was put into it for phones as smartphones took off and more people used them than computers. You're not wrong, just the Chromium base was adapted better by Microsoft to serve as a more native service. Plus, remember how many different versions of Chrome are out there for different OS. I'm sure there are. You're well out of my knowledge zone now. I just turn my computer on and the things appear on screen. I type words in and bits happen. That's all I know. I don't want to get more complicated than that. Right, how's this guy holding his arm? His gun, boringly. Okay. We're going to make Captain boring now. He's not a captain, but he is boring. Do 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 do. Nope, missed. You've got these little key and hole setups for these arms, like a little, not triangular, but a unidirectional tab. That means you can't put the arm in the wrong place, but they're not exactly a snug fit. So there's some wiggle room. I think there would have been a better way to do that, really, but because the shape is a little bit indistinct. It's not quite guaranteed it'll be straight lined up. That needs to go on there, like that. Little bit of touch of the thick glue to make sure everything stays in place. You couldn't really do this with extra thin because it would just fall back off again straight away. It might do now, but it absolutely would if you did do it extra thin. That didn't go well at all. There we go, that's better. I was not paying attention to both my hands. That arm needs to come up a little bit. That needs to tilt back a little bit. There we go. Do 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 do. Needs to be there like that. A lot of the getting the arms correct seems to be the angle of the gun being like, not like that, but like that, having the actual tilt angle. Yaw, I guess. There we go. A bit of squeeze of the glue to make it fill the gap, so it's not quite as big a gap, and we are golden, like the retriever golden. There we go. What's chat doing? :/end nerd. All of a sudden I feel everyone staring at me like, who are you? This is Andy McLeish. The man from Del Monte? The man from Del Monte, he said yes. And what have you done with Andy, says Jeff. If one race got a game about their culture, Morrowind, which Skyrim race would you pick? Oh, do you need to ask? It's Khajiit, all the way. Khajiit will always pick Khajiit. Because the nodes may have Skyrim, but everything else belongs to Khajiit. It would not require much thought. One would not need to pray to Akatosh. One would simply decide to be Khajiit because it is the superior of all the races. I've not got pauldron out. Get your pauldron out! Pauldron number 37 in the scheme of things. Yeah, absolutely Khajiit. I always play Skyrim as Khajiit. It's always. Because I mean, you know, the best mod in Skyrim is Inigo, who is a Khajiit, because Khajiit are the best. Why would you not want to be a cat dude? I mean, only because there's no dog dudes. But even then, I struggle to be a cat dude. They've also got the best taunts, like the best throwing voice taunts. Hey, cheese breath. Hey, troll bait. Perfect. And it's also the only voice I can do reasonably well. It's the Khajiit. To the point where when Fester was watching me play Skyrim on my streams, he didn't realise at first that when I was doing the silly, because I was reading the dialogue in a Khajiit voice, he thought the game actually, but that was the game audio. And he said, wait a minute, is that you reading the lines? I'm like, yeah. He said, oh, I didn't realise. I thought it was the game. Well, thank you very much for complimenting my Khajiit voice skills. Oh, for Fox, that's easy, says Andy McLeish. Yeah. I'm kind of hoping that at some point, when Starfield comes out, you just know that one of the first mods that's going to appear, apart from a game improving mod that improves frame rates and stuff, which is part of the course, and apart from the one that gives all the women enormous boobs, which is just pathetic, and I hate that, but it's going to be there. And skimpy armour, really. You know there's going to be like environment suit sets where it's all skimpy and you've got cleavage, like tip windows and stuff. It's like, I hate that so much. It's so sexist, but hey, it's pathetic. It's like little fat men in their basements making those things. It's really, you're like 12. But you're going to get them. But yes, one of the first mods that will appear, I have no doubt, will be a Khajiit mod to give you the option of making your character look like a Khajiit. It'd probably like a clothing mod to give you a helmet that makes you look like a Khajiit. I don't think they'll be able to do too much to the game to completely alter it. But you know someone will do it. Someone will do it. Because how many people will want to play as Khajiit? I would say pretty much approximately all of them. One of us, says Candygram. I like my funky lizard dude, says Box Fox. I've got to give you credit. They are second, very close after. They look fantastic. The Argonians in Skyrim. They look absolutely incredible. They're actually, I'd say, of all the races in Skyrim, they are the best looking. And I love the voice actor. Like, I love the voice actor that does all the Khajiit voices. The one that talks like this, because he's got a very mesmerising voice. But the one that does the Argonian voice, like the guy in the marketplace in Riverrun. No, Riverrun. What's it called? I've forgotten the place name now. The one at the right end of the map. Anyway, that one. The one that sells the jewellery. He's got the most mellow, softest voice, and it's quite captivating. Greetings, Landstrider. But I've never played as a Argonian. Khajiit all the way. It's got to be the fuzzy cat dude. Right, now this pose, let's have a look and see what we've got. What have we got so far? We have dude looking where he's firing. We have dude looking a little bit forward. You can't see that, can you? Dude looking a little bit forward, but only to the left, a little bit. Dude looking over to the right, not looking where he's pointing. That's fine. So this guy has got a boring pose. He's a bit like this one. He's very similar to that one. So I don't like these boring poses because there's nowhere for them to look that isn't just straight ahead. I'll have him looking a little bit to the right, because then I've got two looking to the left and two looking to the right. That seems fair, doesn't it? It's just such a boring... I'm not keen on the poses on these guys. They are kind of boring for the most of them. It's just like they're stood around waiting rather than actually fight. There's not actually a lot of... Like, you look at Imperial Guard, the dudes are like aiming or running or walking. Same with Scions, but with these guys, they're just kind of stood around. I know they're wearing armour and stuff, but still, it's a bit meh. They're a bit meh. That's just boring. He's like, yeah, what? I'm a doorman. What? You ain't getting in. Name's not down, you ain't getting in. The Thieves Guild play, says Boxful. Yeah, what's the town called? It's called... Oh, God, I can't remember what it's called. The town with the... My brain's not working. Riften, that's it. Riften. I think it's Riften. Yeah. Yeah, Riften. The one that Inigo likes because it's his favourite town in all of Skyrim. Right, there you go. That's one dude, one. Yeah, so I do like the Argonian's voice. My big fear with Elder Scrolls 6, whenever it comes out in the next 10 years, my big fear is that they'll change the voice actor for the Khajiit, and that'll be the saddest thing ever. Because I love the Khajiit voice. I am really sad. It's great. It's a very, very soothing, calming voice. So in my playthrough, I've got Inigo, who's my companion, and I've got Jizargo. No, Jizargo? No, Jizargo's in the Mages Guild. The other one, the one that is with the band of travelling, the band of the caravan, and you find his amulet and he travels with you. What's his name? Not Risad, not Jizargo. It might be Jizargo. I don't know. Anyway, he keeps getting stuck in scenery, but he's got that voice. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Can't beat Khajiit. That rhymes. I await with great glee the Khajiit mods for Starfield next year. You know it's going to happen. Right, next we have cashier number 5, please. Pose number 5. I don't need to look at the instructions because these are the only bits I've got. So, we're going to use Pauldronium, number 38. Cashier number 5, please. I do need to check the arms though, because you actually have a spare set of arms. Why have you got a spare set of arms on here? I never quite figured that out. There's a reason why. 54 and 53. Is that for one of the sergeants or the Vex Machinator things? Oh yeah, that's for the. That's for one of the sergeants. I haven't got any. I was going to, theoretically I could give him a bolt pistol, but we don't have any bolt pistols, sadly. The only option you've got is to give the Marines. Unless he's a sergeant. I apologise for the sniffles, by the way. Unless he's a sergeant, they've just got the bolters. They don't have any alternative weapons. Oh well. Welcome, Land Strider. I will miss the Argonian voices and the Khajiit voices, unless they get the same voice actor. I doubt it though, because they've always had different actors in for the different things in the games. Then again, they only had a different voice actor for Khajiit in Oblivion because he had like 3 voice actors. So yeah. Oh, need the back piece. Herbert back piece. And head number 43. 43! There we go. I'm not giving any of them exposed helmets because that would require more painting and I need to get this done ASAP. ASAP! I need to get it done ASAP, Spanky. G'day, Hiff. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks now to Rocco's Modern Life. Backpack. And Evil Pauldron of Splitness. There we go. I'm lucky as a custodian player that I've already got a heresy army pretty much, says Hunter of Ajax. Welcome, Hunter of Ajax. Welcome to the stream. I've not got anything. This is all I've got for Horus Heresy. I've only really built 40k up to now, so. But I got this so I can get it built and painted and up on eBay to the best of my abilities. But welcome to the stream. Get comfortable. Everybody say hello to Hunter of Ajax. Always say hello to the new people. It's always a nice thing to do. Yeah, so Khajiit all the way. Man, I really can't wait for Skyrim. For Starfield, though. Oh, I forgot to clean this pauldron, didn't I? I've done it again. When I built these pauldrons, I didn't do any clean-up, so I haven't yet taken the nubs off the bottom of it. Oh, I keep forgetting that. Fox, you're a... Well, and that one. You're a spoon, Fox. You're the biggest spoon in the world. You really are. Maximus Spoonius. Spoonius Maximus. Go away. Keyboard. Prompt. King Spoon. King of the spoons. All spoons bow to me because I have the most spoonness. Everybody saying Hunter of Ajax, welcome. Welcome, welcome. You'll find my people in my chat a lovely bunch. Some of them slightly obscure and weird, but they're all harmless. And then there's Andy McLeish, of course. We don't go to Ravenholm. Some people will get that reference. Must play through that again at some point. So many games that I could play through on live streams, but sadly at the minute gaming live streams is all I can really fit in, and like this kind of stuff I can't fit in any proper filming. Because looking after Mama Fox kind of makes it really difficult. Which I'm not going to, you know, complain on. Looking after Mama Fox is a good thing. It's not something I'm going to complain about. I have to admit though, the only thing that, the one thing that puts me off ever playing, oh, that's not glued on properly. The one thing that makes me really not want to play Half-Life 2 ever again is, well, let's be honest, most of it, but the Ravenholm. Oh. Why is that pauldron not stuck? Why are you not stick, pauldron? What is this now you're doing now? I have to leave that one there to dry. Fox has discovered something we, the audience, have known for ages. He's a spoon. We don't go to Ravenholm. Oh boy, foreshadowing. Yes. Yeah, I hated that say. I mean, the thing with Half-Life 2, right, when you first got it, and you're like, wow, because it was like, wait, I can pick something up and stack breeze blocks to make a seesaw? Wait, what? This is the future of game. This is dark magic. Nobody can do this in a game. Surely it's impossible. And then when you're like 12 hours into the game and you're still stacking things into piles to make stat, and you're like, okay, bit less exciting now. And then you spend 14 hours going around the waterways on that airboat, and you're like, kind of losing the will to live now. So it's one of those games that when you first played it at the time, it was mind-blowing, but you did get bored quite quick. And then you got Ravenholm. Ooh. So it's one of those games that I don't really feel that compelled to go back and play again, because there's so much of it that just I found not interesting. It's like, as a physics experiment, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant physics experiment. As a game, yeah, it's all right, but it had lots of boring sections. That damn root canal section. Ugh. Oh, please let us have Half-Life 3 someday. I wouldn't bother trying to expect that, Jeff. It's been so long now that they probably won't bother. I know they've said in the past, I know that Gabe Newell said in the past that the problem is that we've left it so long that no matter what we built, it would never, ever, ever match the hype and excitement for Half-Life 3. It doesn't matter what we build, everybody will be disappointed because they've been waiting for that long. So, yeah, I don't think you'll ever get Half-Life 3 now. I hope they bring Alex to non-VR, that'd be nice, but it's a game designed for VR, so... Yeah. Although it looks fantastic if you've got VR. I haven't got VR. Can't do VR, not with my shonky eyesight. But, yes. I loaded up. What did I load up the other day? Because I've just acquired, let's just say, in the vaguest possible way, I've just acquired a significant number of original and Xbox and 360 games. Let's just leave that one there. And it's all games that I've not played for years and years and years. And I've not had for a long time. And the other day I started up. I was just checking it out. This resource of games. And I was like, oh, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I remember playing this. I don't remember much about it. I don't remember not being that impressed. So I loaded it up and it's like, oh, sound effects are pretty terrible. Oh, like each gun has one bang sound and it's really, really loud. And it's like, first thing you do in the game, it teaches you the sneak mechanism. Sneak up behind this guy and stab him, and then you get an extra bonus thing. Brilliant. And then from that point on, every time you go anywhere in the map, all the enemies can instantly sense where you are, even if they're not visible to you. So you never get to use that skill again. I seem to remember playing it and getting bored and stuck halfway through or something, but I don't know, it's a good long time since I played it. To be clear, this wasn't the one with the blue glowing German soldier on the front box, the one that was just called Wolfenstein. I've not played that one, it didn't get very good reviews, that. The one I've got is Return to Castle Wolfenstein, which was 2009, I think it was. And it, like looking at it, you're like, oh dear Lord, it's not great. It doesn't look fantastic. I've also at some point, oh God, I can't believe, I've also somehow got hold of Hour of Victory. Oh dear God, which is possibly the worst game ever made. Was first person shooter, and I remember that when that came out, I had a blog at the time, and I wrote a scathing critique of that. It was like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. It really is truly terrible. And also, oh, what's it called? Fall of Liberty something, which was a game that came out, and I did one of the comic strips on the Avoid Spikes. Avoid Spikes website no longer exists. However, I have archived all my comic strips on modelmakingguru.com, so if you want to check them out. One of the strips on there from about 2009, I think, was was it called something Fall of Liberty. And the idea was, it's set in America, but the Germans invade in World War II, and they take over America. And it was a Codemasters game, and let that sit in your mind for a minute. And again, I wrote a scathing review of this, but I also did a scathing comic strip on it because it was truly awful, because they made the terrible mistake. What was it called now? Day of Defeat, Fall of Liberty, I think it was called. They did the terrible error of actually releasing a demo of it, like about 6 months before it was due to come out. Like a little demo of the first level or something. And oh my God, it was just absolute garbage. Because it was like, wait, you're giving me a first-person shooter set in the US in World War II, but where the Germans have invaded and taken over. That sounds brilliant, because I hadn't heard of The Man in the High Castle at that point. This was like 2008 or 9 or something. This sounds fantastic. Because I went through a big like World War II shooter phase. I'm still kind of there. And yet the demo was like, there was nothing redeeming about it at all. There was just no redeeming. It was just absolute trash. And I wrote many scathing reviews, and yeah, everybody in the universe panned it. And it was clearly like the worst decision that Codemasters ever made was to put a demo out of a game that was so bad that it guaranteed that nobody would buy it. It's like, if you just kept quiet and done nothing and not put a demo out, then everybody would have bought this and realised it was garbage, and you would have got good sales figures for the first day and then just endlessly bad reviews. But it's good that they didn't, because it was terrible. But yeah, what was it called? Something Fall of Liberty. I called it I don't know, something anyway. Fall of Liberty. I called it Fail of something. I had some very pithy name for it. Terrible it was. Sadly, my blog is now long gone, so such reviews no longer exist. But yeah, God, that was terrible. And it was because it was like, oh, that's right in my wheelhouse. It's like alternative history America, where the Germans invaded and took it. Oh, the Nazis invaded. Oh, it'd be great. But no, it was terrible. Imagine, for both of those games, like imagine all the history of first-person shooters from 1993 up to 2009, and then basically ignoring all that and making a game that just sucks in every way. Yeah, no. Fox Play, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, Wolfenstein New Order, Wolfenstein New Colossus. I've played New Order when it came out. That's a great game. I've played The Old Blood, but I can't remember what that is. Was that? I don't know what that bit was. Was that the bit that was like a prequel to? I can't remember. I played Wolfenstein New Order when it came out. For some reason, I have a memory of playing Wolfenstein New Colossus, the scene in the when you walk down the street and you go into the ice cream parlour to go into the room at the back. I've got a memory of doing that bit, but I don't think I've actually played or owned New Colossus. So I don't know. Did they release a demo of it or something? Because I've got a memory of playing that bit where you're in the soda shop, and the German guy comes in, the officer comes in, and then you go in the back and you have the conversation with somebody. I've just got a memory of doing that, but I don't know why. Unless I watch somebody play it, I don't know. But yeah, I played Wolfenstein. I love the New Order. It was a really good game. And I know that Youngblood is not very good. I knew to avoid that. I checked the reviews. Nobody's like, yeah, don't get Youngblood. Andy McLeish says, avoid spikes. Gloik, all aboard the emo bus. Hot take, Wolfenstein has always been a meh game. It was in the trailer. Yeah, I mean, well, excuse me. Wolfenstein, the new Wolfenstein, so the New Order onwards, they were pretty cool. But when I try and remember Wolfenstein the New Order, for some weird reason, I always get it convoluted in my brain with the opening sequence of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, where you're getting out of the hospital bit. I don't know why. I always think of one and then the other. It's very strange. But no, I like New Colossus. The New Order. I played it when it came out. Because basically anything where you're killing Nazis is just the best thing ever. Because they are the ultimate and best video game bad guy. Because really, when it comes to the act of, killing things, there's no moral dilemma to be had when you're either killing inanimate objects, robots, or Nazis. Everything else you can have a crisis of conscience about, but when it's one of those three, you just have fun. It's required and expected, and it's just excellent fun. So yeah. New Colossus is when you go to America, and I stopped reading at that point because I don't think I've played it and I don't want it to be spoiled. But I don't know, I just have this memory of playing that opening scene, but I haven't had the game and I don't play the rest of the game, so I don't remember why I remember it. Because unless they released a little demo, like where you could play it or something, or I thought maybe I'd got it on Xbox Live Gold, like free with Xbox Gold, but it's not in my game library, so most confuzzulating. Now the problem I've got at the minute is that I do have the New Order on Xbox 360, but it's not a disc version. I've got no way to transfer it to Xbox, to my Series console, so I can't play it. I did have the disc, and I lost a lot of my game discs. They've been stored away and lost, I think. So I did have it on disc, and I could have just stuck it in and played it that way, but I haven't got it now, so I don't particularly want to buy it again. So I have to play it on the 360. Hey. Wolfenstein. Technically, it should be Wolfenstein anyway. Not Wolfenstein, if you want to pronounce it correctly. Is it Castle Wolfenstein? Or is it Wolfenstein or Wolfenstein? Yeah, Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein! It's funny when you watch anything on Eurogamer and they talk about any of the Wolfenstein games because one of the reviewers is German. So he's like, it's Wolfenstein. So they all have to now call it Wolfenstein because they can't call it Wolfenstein because they'll be like, yeah, that's not how you pronounce it. I find that quite funny. I need to adjust my seat. Hang on. As far as I know, it goes Wolfenstein, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Wolfenstein Old Blood, New Order, New Colossus, Young Blood, but a proper Wolfenstein 3 is coming. Yeah, there'll be another Wolfenstein 3. There'll be another, yeah. Joseph Kelly, I've never played a video game. What? Oh, man, there's a whole world. There is a whole world of entertainment. That sounds terrible. That sounds like marketing speak. A whole world of entertainment to your fingertips. I'm so jealous in a way because if you've never played a video game, like to me, if I look at an old original Xbox game, I look at it and I think, I know what modern video games are like, and I can see how the limitations and where the graphics aren't that good and where the frame rate's terrible and things that the game can't do because they couldn't do that back in those days. But for someone who's never played a video game, you've basically got, if you discount the first, say, 10 years, because, 1990s games, not all that great, but yeah, you've basically got like 20, 25 years of just gaming entertainment at your disposal. All of which to you will probably be excellent because you've got no context to judge it against. I'm so jealous. I mean, I wish I could, I've said this before, but I wish I could sort of blank my memory about a game so that I could play it again as if it was the first time ever. Because so many games are great experiences, but you play it once, and once you've played it, you've played the story through and you've done everything, it's like, I'm not really motivated to play it again because there's no benefit to it. I mean, some games like Skyrim and Fallout and stuff, they're kind of, you can go back and play them just for the exploration, but you still know the storyline. You're going to go through it quickly, but games where it's all about story, like linear type first-person shooter games or any games like that, where a lot of them you are kind of limited. I mean, I'll go back and play Medal of Honor Frontline till the cows come home because I love the game, but it's a very simple game. But I know everything now, and it's a shame. I wish I could sort of choose to clear my cache, as it were. Right, today I'm going to play Game X, and I'm going to clear my cache so I don't remember anything. I can experience the story for the first time again. Because to me, a lot of it's about story. It's not just the action of the game. I like to explore, and I like to have a good story. So, but you've got like 20 odd years of just absolute gaming history completely at your disposal because you don't know any of it. I think a lot of people out there that play games will be very jealous of that. Because you could dive in and start playing modern games on a modern console or on a PC, or you could start in chronological order. You could start with games in the late 90s and go from there. You could go earlier, but then you're looking at more arcadey stuff. But you could start and work your way through the history of games. It'd be amazing. I know a number of people they've collected video game consoles over the years, and as they've had kids, they've started introducing their kids to video games, but they start with the oldest console. So one of my friends, she started when her kids were born. They were a few years old. They started with an old Nintendo, an old SNES, and as they got older, they moved up from a SNES to this and that, and got more and more. And now they're up to by the time they get to 14 and 15, they're on modern console. And they get to experience that evolution. Because when they're a little kid, they don't care that it's like an old 8-bit game. They don't care about that. But so it's like amazing. I like that. Right, barrel drilling time. Clench your buttocks, stand by your beds. Where are we? Andy McLeese says, if you have Game Pass... No, I've not got Game Pass. I'm on gold. Hi Joseph, says Panzer, yes, you should try the number of hours, days / weeks I have lost to gaming over the years. What the actual hell is the Wolfenstein timeline, says Box Fox, nobody knows. If you're looking at PC gaming, then pretty much everything is available to you. If you're looking at console gaming, and you want to go through the whole history of it and have them much, I'd probably say Xbox is the better bet because there's more backwards compatible Xbox stuff than PlayStation stuff, I think. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that, I suppose. And my understanding is the Xbox back compat library. So if you buy a modern console, you can play the older generation of games. There's more on, say, Xbox than on PlayStation, but correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Andy McLeish explains the Wolfenstein timeline. He says, basically, he's beat Wolf. Adolf survived, returned to stop him, return. Find out about the invasion plans and experiments, Old Blood. Try to stop Death's Head, New Order. Stop the invasion, Colossus. But you are missing out the 2004 or 5 game, Wolfenstein, which is the one with the glowing Nazi on the front cover, which got really occult, and I don't know where that fits in the timeline. I've never played it, and I've heard tell it's not very good. I think that was just called Wolfenstein, which gets even more confusing. But yeah, It came out before Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein! Das ist richtig! Thing is, I can't really say Wolfenstein. Knowing how it's supposed to be pronounced by a German, saying it's Wolfenstein. Might even be Wolfenstein, I can't remember. You don't have Game Pass, says Annie McLeish. No, Xbox Gold, cheaper for me. I don't play a large number of games, don't forget. If I got Game Pass, I'd never do anything. I only really play Skyrim and Fallout and a few other bits and bobs, and I've got my collection of every Xbox 360 game ever, and a large, massive amount of original Xbox games, all playable. So I don't have Game Pass because originally and I need to start doing it again. I was doing the Microsoft points, reward points thing where you do like 10 Bing searches every day and a little quiz, and you get like 10 points, and over a course of a month, you get enough points to basically get an extra month of gold free to pay for a month of Xbox Gold. And that way I was never paying for Xbox Live Gold, you see. But I kind of accidentally paid for a year, but I can't remember how I did it now. I kind of like, I think it rolled over before I realised. So I already got another year. But you can't do that with Game Pass because you don't, even if you do all the tasks assigned to you in a month, you don't get enough points at the end of that month to get a month of Game Pass. Joseph Kelly, I'm a timid fellow. I saw a game where you play a goose and solve puzzles. Maybe I'll start with that and work up to mass carnage. Just so you know, Untitled Goose Game, you play as a goose and your object of the game is to be a complete and utter asshole as a goose. Stanley Parable's a good game like that. Non-violent game. Stanley Parable will break your brain. Trust me, there's like 100 different endings. And I enjoyed Stanley Parable. Untitled Goof. There's also like Goat Simulator, which is insanity. You basically play a goat and you cause chaos in the town. It's just nonsense. It's like a sandbox chaos creator. There's lots of games like that. That's the thing. You don't have to go for any specific type of game. There's all different genres of game out there. But you have the entire history of gaming at your disposal because everything will be new and exciting to you. And a lot of gamers will be jealous of that. Because I'm the kind of gamer that I'll think, oh, I really haven't played this. I remember this game. I haven't played it in 10 years. And then I load it up and I'm like, oh, wait, hang on a minute. I've just remembered this level halfway through that I hated. And then it just puts me off playing it. And I'm like, oh, actually, maybe I won't. Because there's always something in the game, generally. It's very rare that I get a game where I love every minute of it. It's like Medal of Honor Allied Assault was brilliant until you got to the Sniper Town level. And I'm like, oh, why did they put that in there? It's horrible. So whenever I play Medal of Honor Allied Assault in the past, I just get the console and skip past that mission. I'm like, no. I remember the thing I loved about the thing I miss about gaming, but that I loved about like experiencing video games over the last 20 years was the evolution and the journey. Like I'm just remembering now, I just remember when I first played Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which was when it came out, what, 2001 or 2 or something on PC. Playing that. And simple little things like, for example, there's one level, or even level even, where you start off in a forest and it's all snowy and wintry and dark, and you can't really see very far because it's dark and snowy and misty. But you've got these, you know, all the woodland around you, and you've got to try and get from one end of the map to the other to get to this town. And there's not many people in there. There are enemies there, but they're all like stood at guard posts, or they're at little machine gun nests, and they're all hidden away in the mist. And as you walk along slowly, you come across little groups of dudes. But the thing that made it stand out for me, keep in mind that a lot of time at this point in time you just run down corridors and shoot things in most games. You start off in this wood, in this forest, and everything's misty. It's cold, and you've got the sound. Basically the sound of a forest in winter. It's that you've got that white noise, constant blanket of sort of gentle white noise. I remember sitting there, and I had every now and then there'd be a little bit of a sort of fluttering, rustling sound as the sound of like snow dropping off the branches of a tree and falling to the ground. Just very subtle, very quiet. You might hear very distant, off in the distance, like voices, just little snippets of people having a conversation, like some of the German soldiers saying something. And you can't tell what they're saying, but it's like this little muffled, and you're aware there's somebody over there. And then there'd be like occasionally a dog barking, like an Alsatian dog. But it was like, again, a long way off in the distance, and it was that kind of echoey dog bark sound. And that blew my mind. The atmosphere, that just simple sound. I mean, by today's standards, that's a really basic, simple soundscape. But just the idea of the atmosphere that oozed out of those sounds, because they were all distant and hidden they all sounded like things that were off in the distance and hidden in the mist, and I couldn't quite see them. And it just sounded like a wintry, snow-covered forest. It was amazing. And I remember it blew my mind, that little, more than the actual D-Day landing scene, that little scene in the woodland blew my mind. If I remember rightly, there weren't a lot of dudes in there to actually take out or deal with. There weren't many, but it was the slow movement. Like every time the little sound effect of snow fluttering down from the branches, like as snow drops off a tree, every time I heard that sound, I didn't know if it was like snow falling off a tree or if it was a German soldier behind me moving around. So I was quite on edge, because it was quite a hard game. So yeah, little things like that. But go forward 20 years now, and it's like it takes a lot to impress me now. I'm not impressed by much nowadays. I can look at a game now that would be a billion times more advanced than Allied Assault, and I'd look at it and go, eh. Clear my throat 1 second. There we go. So I think, but at the time, compared to the typical shooters, which were corridor runs with a weapon in front of you, and this thing was like, no, I need to clear my throat again. Hang on a sec. There we go. It was amazing. By today's standards, it's really basic, but by its standards of the day, I was like, and it's amazed how simple things used to blow your mind back then that wouldn't even be a radar blip nowadays. But it's always in context of what you can see around you. If that game is better than other games that are around it, you're going to have your mind blown. And it was that game that first started me looking for an atmosphere in a game, a world. Like, before then they were just fun video games, like Half-Life and stuff. You run down a corridor, you shoot the bad guys, that kind of stuff. But then it was things like that level of Medal of Honor Allied Assault that made me realise the designers could create atmospheres in the game. There could be a world with a life to it, and it's like, wow. And that's what really set me off then, looking for games that were more than just run, gun and shoot, even though I loved Halo. And that was an itch that I suddenly had that never really got scratched until I found Fallout 3, and then it was like, ooh, world building, I like this. That's when it got interesting. Am I even on camera? Yeah, just about. I shall have a look at chat in a second. So I must go back and play Allied Assault at some point. I'll just skip past the Sniper Town. Ugh. No. basically on the Sniper Town level. You've got to get from you've got to guide a tank crew through this small village, but you can't have them all get killed because the whole point is to escort the tank crew. And it's full of German snipers, but they're all like on house roofs halfway across the map, and they're behind a tree, load of foliage, so you can't even see them. And the moment you poke your head up, it's like 1-hit kills, bang, done. Or maybe 2-hit kills. So not only have you got to survive yourself, you've also got to get this tank crew to the side of town, and you can't really see the snipers. You can barely... You have to die a lot to learn where they are. Like, you'll die 6 times before you realise where a sniper is, so you can go back to that save and take them out. What scum saving? It's not really scum saving, but you know what I mean. A lot of quick saving on that level. I've never enjoyed that map. It was a torment. It was very unfair. That was buzzed out and not really part of the canon, says Andy McLeish about the Wolfenstein game in 2000 or something. The last video game I played was the Resistance series on PS3 years ago. I feel sorry for you, Jeff. They were truly terrible. Yeah. I wouldn't hold that up as a reference for video games. They were not that great. I love the fact that the first Resistance was set in my hometown of Manchester. Alternative history, Manchester, England. Unfortunately, the game was kind of garbage. Yeah, they weren't great games. Resistance, Fall of Man. Resistance, Fall of my interest level. Where's the mould line on this? There's no mould line on this leg. How the hell have they done that? I haven't cleaned it already. Oh no, very, very faint. Wow. I had to really work to actually see the mould line on that leg there. That's kind of impressive. Unless I have cleaned it and I've forgotten, I'm kind of a complete spoon. I'm not going to complain. Joseph, just leap into the mass carnage and eat the goose with the roast potatoes, carrots and gravy, says Panzer. Andy McLeish says, yes, there's also Goat Simulator. Oh, yeah. A friend of mine bought Goat Simulator to play with his very young nephew and said it was the best game experience ever. The laughs never stopped. It is a hilarious nonsense. Goat Simulator. It's just... You can't explain Goat Simulator. You cannot be told what it is. I watched one, says there is on the map on the original Goat Simulator, there's this little bit where there's like a car track, little donut track, and there's this car going round and round. And I figured out, I spent ages trying to do it, but you could actually catch the car with your tongue, because the goat's got like a super sticky tongue. It can grab things with its tongue. So as this car's going around, I grabbed the car with my tongue, the goat's tongue, and all kinds of physics nonsense happened. It was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. The car went in the air, I went in the air. Oh, it's hilarious. I love the fact as well that Goat Simulator 3 is due to come out, but there's never been a Goat Simulator 2, not ever. There was Goat Simulator, and now there's Goat Simulator 3. I just love that sense of humour. It's like, what about Goat Simulator 2? Yes. And the fact that they riffed on, I think, the Dead Island trailer. Their trailer was very similar to some game that's been waiting for a sequel for years, and everybody thought it was that until it said, Goat Simulator! Wait, what? Yeah, I appreciate their sense of humour. Yeah, Jeff, I was like, what the heck is this? Says Andy McLeish. Yeah, about Goat Simulator. It's one you won't play it for long. If you've got a kid, if you've got a child and you want to just have a silly laugh with your kid, then Goat Simulator is perfect because it's just absolute silly physics nonsense. It's not a game you're going to sit and play for hours and end as an adult. You play it once or twice and laugh and then move on. Or as a party game when you get your mates around with some beers. But if you've got a child, a young child, and you rather them not just play Disney rubbish all day long, get them Goat Simulator. It's just so innocent and also nuts. And McLeish says KFC for dinner. I would love KFC for dinner, but I can't trust my local KFC to get my order even remotely correct. And I'm so sick of ordering stuff from me and Mama Fox and end up with half of it, or none of the things I ordered. So I don't bother anymore. Do 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 do. Yeah, imagine having that entire... If I could forget all the video games I've ever played and just start them from scratch. I'd just start playing Skyrim and that'd be another 10 years then, wouldn't it? So that wouldn't really work. Skyrim and Fallout are those rare games where you can play them over and over again, even though you know what's going to happen. But it's they're kind of open world games, so they're designed for that anyway. Excuse me. I brought out Deer Simulator too, says Anna McLeish. I have to order extra slaw, the missus steals mine. In this, how can I put this? Sudden and immediate access to pretty much the entire Xbox 360 back catalogue that I suddenly have. I shall not divulge more than that, let's just say. I've actually got a load of the Cabela hunting games. I've just basically every 360 game ever, and I've just got all this Japanese stuff. I don't know what it is, and it's got all the Cabela hunting games that I've got no interest in, but I'll have to fire one up at some point and just have a look. But, you know, Cabela Big Game Hunter, Cabela Deer Hunters, and all these kind of, like, yeah, never been in my wheelhouse, but I guess the American market would appreciate them. It was like hunting simulators. You know, if you're the kind of person that likes to go out and slaughter innocent animals for no good reason. I really want KFC now. God, but I can't have KFC. I can't order, I don't trust them. But by that logic, folks, you can use different answers and info and have different outcomes in Fallout and Skyrim. You can do. But I always end up going the same way because I cannot play as an arse. I cannot play as a jerk at all. I always play as a nice guy. I physically, I'm incapable of playing as a bad guy. Or a snarky ass or anything like that. I just can't do it. I've tried it. I have tried it. I've played through Skyrim and Fallout 3 like 5 times. And I'm always kind of the same character. I do the same things. Because I'm not really there for the story. I'm there for, you know, the exploration and the wandering around in a big world. But I can't play as a bad guy. I really cannot. I refuse to buy the Fallout 4 DLC that puts you in the Nuka World DLC because you have to play as a raider. I can't do it. I don't want to be a bad guy. I just know I wouldn't enjoy it because it's like, no, I can't. My conscience is such that I can't even do bad things in a video game. Sorry about that bang there. I know it sounds ridiculous. But I can't even do bad stuff in a video game. I mean, for crying out loud, it's not even real world. They're not real people. But it's like, if you put me in a game where I make a decision and it's a bad decision for someone and it ends up poorly for them, like, you know, like Fallout 3, I could never, ever, 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 ever nuke Megaton. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It would never happen because I know that when you do that, Moira's still there, but she's like, oh, well, I guess I'll never get my book finished now. And I feel bad. I can't do it. It's pathetic. I know it's a video game. I just can't do it. I can do bad things to bad guys. I kill raiders and stuff, and I can do bad things to evil people, but I can't be a bad guy. I can't be a snake. I can't even be snarky in video games. I agonise over choices sometimes in conversation in video games because I don't want to be an arse. And it really sits poorly when I say something in a video game and it comes out a bit snarky. I didn't mean it to. Like Fallout 4 was a nightmare because you never quite knew. Whatever you chose on the conversation wheel, you never quite knew what it would come out as, if it was snarky or not. Or you know, sarcastic or negative, and I hated that. Because I'd be like, somebody'd ask me a question, I'd be like, I'll give them you know, would you like to do this? And I'd be like, yeah, I'd quite like to do that. And my guy'd be like, oh God, if I must. Like, well, that's not what I was thinking. I didn't want to say that. What? So yeah, I can't even do that. I can't be a bad guy. It's not in my DNA. I know it sounds terrible. I know it's just video games, but I can't help it. I'm a nice man. I can't not be a nice man. I don't have the option of being a not nice man. I just can't. I can't sell out to Mr. Tenpenny and Nuke Megaton. And I also, like, when I went to Tenpenny Tower, spoilers if you've not played the game, I, of course, handed the tower over to all the ghouls. Now, that was a bit of a dilemma because if you've never played the game, basically, Tenpenny Tower is this place full of, like, elitist people. And they won't let ghouls in because they think ghouls are just horrible. And there's some ghouls that live in the basement, basically. They're all saying, you know, they're not, like, rabid ghouls. They're all, like, you know, intelligent people. And all they want to do is live in Tenpenny Tower because it's nice and safe. And they won't let them in. And the people in Tenpenny Tower, for the most part, really, really, like, I can't really say racist because it's not a race, but, you know, they're really prejudiced against the ghouls. Even though these ghouls are intelligent ghouls, they're not feral ghouls. And they're good people. But the people in the tower won't let them in. Oh no, we don't want that kind of person in here. No, 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 no. And it gave me this weird grey... The Fallout 3 was full of really weird, troubling moral choices. Like, you can either have the option of, if I remember rightly, you can either not... You can do nothing to help the ghouls, in which case they'd never get to live in Tenpenny Tower. Or you can talk to the people in Tenpenny Tower and try and talk them round to be more tolerant of other of the different thing, of the other, and actually let them in. You say, look, they're still people. They've just been hit by radiation and they're having a bad time. They're not monsters. They're just people. Let them in. And you can win them over. You can kind of win them over, but they're still kind of like really bigoted, hateful people for the most part. And I thought, well, I'm going to do the good thing. I'm going to do the good thing because I'm a good man, and the ghouls are harmless. You know, they're good people. I've spoken to them. They're all right. They just want somewhere nice to live and to be part of a society like they were 200 years ago before they turned into ghouls. And also they'll give me this sweet ghoul mask if I get them in, which is kind of nice. So I did the honourable thing, and I talked to all the residents and I convinced them all that it was out of order to be so bigoted and they should let them in. Now, I'm not going to do any spoilers at this point, but let's just say there were consequences to this choice that I didn't realise when I played the game the first time. Yeah, I was like, oh, right, okay, wow. And it's just a perfect example. I won't say it because some people might want to play it one day. It's a perfect example of the real grim, grey choices you get in Fallout 3 where you're like, I'm a good guy, but that was, yeah, no spoilers, but I got the ghoul mask, which was sweet. But I also caused some other things to happen which I hadn't planned on, which didn't really sit very well. It's like, oh, I love this game so much because it's making me confront my... Oh, it's great. So you got yourself a doohickey that plugs into a do-what's-it to play the thingmadoodle, says Andy McLeish. I don't know what you're talking about there. I don't want to know about that. I diagnose you with being a coward, also I nuke Megaton simply because their city is awful and stupid. Yeah, I like Megaton. I could never get into playing the game as an evil character either, says Jeff. No. Andy McLeish says, I'm just a git. Free reign game, I murderize everything, but if it's linear, a story, I'll go with it. And Candygram says, yeah, the tenpenny outcome sucked. Unintended consequences. Absolutely, and that's what makes that game. Flaws and all. Yeah, it looks like ass nowadays, but you know what? That's what makes that game much better than Fallout New Vegas for me, is that kind of grim twist. That, yeah. As I've got older, that game soured me now, because whenever I have a game and I've got that kind of choices, I have to go online and look and say, right, if I make this choice, what's the outcome? And I find myself doing that in a game. If I've got a choice to make, rather than just be a man and make a decision and live with any consequences, I find myself going online to weigh up my options. so I don't anger anyone or hurt anyone in the game. It's like, just, Fox, just stop being such a wuss. Just, if it turns out badly, it turns out badly, don't you? It's not the end of the world. But I really can't be bad in a game. I hate it. I don't like people to think bad of me, even in a video game where they're not actual people. I want everyone to be nice and friendly. It's why it's like in the Fallout games, really why I think it was a shame. I mean, they probably wouldn't have been able to build it into it, but I think it was a shame that you never really got the option when it came to like raiders. I know they're just like, in the games themselves, the raiders are just basically generic NPC monsters. Like that's their role, is to be an NPC world monster, in the same as a rad scorpion or something else. But it really was a shame that they were always just things to kill, and you never had the option of dialogue with them really to try and avoid that. Although they were raiders and stuff, and it was like, okay, they're bad guys, it still was kind of weird that my only option was to kill them and that's it. There's never any dialogue with them, never any deeper gameplay options. I can't get this gun to fit. They were just treated the same as rad scorpions and other random monsters. I'm having trouble with this weapon. I'm having trouble. That needs to go there. That needs to go there. You go on there. You don't want to go, do you? Might be a bit better. Nope. 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 I can go down a bit. This is the advantage of your thick glue. You see, you've got a little bit of time to do wigglage. It's not pretty. And it's a bit cheap and nasty, but it works just about. Right, I think they were good. Basically, I got both arms onto the little peg that they lock onto, and they felt about good, but there's a little bit of play in them, and it turned out this arm was too high up. Even though it looked absolutely fine and it felt like it was in the right place, it was actually too high. And there you go. You can never assume. If you assume, you just make an ass of you and me. I like that pose. That kind of pose where he's walking straight. He's walking along with his gun lowered. That's a nice pose. I like that one. That's a good pose. But I think we need more poses that aren't just standing around doing nothing. Because they're not really doing anything that's like says, I'm in the heat of battle. Because to me, the heat of battle means running around, shooting things, dynamic poses, running, jumping. I know they're in armour and it's really heavy, but at the same time, they're supposed to be agile and light on the feet because the armour's like a second skin, so they should be able to run around and stuff. So I think more dynamic poses would have been nice. Especially if you're only getting 5 on a sprue and a pack of 10 is the same 5 dudes twice. Yeah, you need to avoid repetition. Right, that's the Pauldroniums. So he's walking that way. So, which way did I say this guy was going to look? He is that way. So, right. I'm missing one, no I'm not. Right, left. I like that even walking forward, gun down like that, but looking to the far left or the far right. Like he's walking along, but he's checking his corners. Do it over there where the camera is. He's walking along, but he's checking his corner. I keep going off camera, I do apologise. He's checking his corners. He's not just walking along in a straight line. But I've got one guy looking to the far left and one guy looking to the far right, but I'm going to have to go for duplicates sometime, aren't I? I think looking to the right. This looks good that way. Edward Leonard's in. Hang on a second, Edward. I'll do the relevant thing for you when I put this head on. There you go. So he's tilted his head a little bit to the right. He's walking along, but he's looking over there, and his weapon's pointed over there because he's not firing. He's chilled out. He's got his strap bunched up under his hand. So that's that one. So a quick look at chat. I think there was a part in Fallout 3 the mole rat in a cage somewhere. I put 3 stakes in its cage, even though it didn't matter. Yeah, it's a mole rat called. There's one with a rad roach called Fluffy in a cage. I think there's a mole rat as well. Candy mole rats should be turned into mole rat chunks. Yes. Skyrim Nord NPCs be like, there's a nip in the air. Coal won't be good for my crops, brother. In Talos, you built a farm in the coldest province. Yeah. Yeah. Edward Leonard is in. King of the Squishies, Squish King. And unfortunately, you've joined us just as I'm going to wrap up in a minute. Because I'm going to go and make me dinner in a moment. Only a couple of hours today. Go make some din-dins. Get Mama Fox fed, and I might order some filthy takeout because I don't have sushi. Oops. So, I will get that on there. And what I'll probably do is, if I can, I'll carry on with these tonight. I'm trying to use as much time as I can to crack on with these builds because I need to get them all sorted out ASAP. Because the quicker I can get these built, the quicker I can get them painted. And the quicker I can get them painted, the quicker I can get the whole box set on eBay. When it goes up for sale, it will be all the models and the books and the measuring sticks and stuff. So that'll be the whole thing. They will, of course, all be Space Wolves. So, Space Puppies ahoy. But I know I've only done 2 today, but we'll leave that. I'm doing about 1 an hour, plus talking to you guys. That's not so bad. Box Fox says, Squish Foz. Fox. Everybody calls me Foz when they mistype it. I like that, Foz. So we've got 5 of the dudes. I will crack on with these tonight. I might possibly, I don't know yet, but I might possibly stream again tonight. It depends on a lot of things. So don't be surprised if I pop up again later on tonight doing more of these. Because if I'm at the bench doing this, there's no reason why I can't stream while I'm doing it. It's just a place for you guys to hang out. But I might not. It depends on a lot of things. So make sure you are liked and subscribed and hit the notification bell. Because if I do an unprompted stream like at the last minute, you won't know about it. I may not have time to post up on the social medias. But I might not. But if not, I'll see you again tomorrow anyway for Warhammer Sunday with me and Colin, when we'll carry on building excuse me, our Lehman Russes that we're doing as part of our Educating Festa series, where we will build it, and then I will teach Festa how I paint things, so he can add those particular methods to his own box of tricks to use as he wishes. But I think I'll call it there. So apologies, Edward, that you've just come in. But I'll see you again tomorrow afternoon, about 5 o'clock probably, maybe a little earlier if possible, but maybe 5 o'clock. Until then, though, I shall say, don't forget, of course, thank you everyone who's been watching. Thank you for your support and watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel and you don't currently do so, then please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/modelmakingguru. The address is there. Or becoming a channel member by pressing the join button underneath this stream or any of my video content. Either way, you can support the channel, keep it alive, literally put food on my table because I do this for a living. And you'll be awesome. So please do consider becoming a patron or a channel member. But don't forget, of course, as always, like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, I shall say again, big hugs and thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Edward says I was lurking, Fox. Oh, I'm glad you didn't miss out then, Edward. Thank you for lurking. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, I will say the magic line that Colin can't steal from me because he's not here. Adios, amoebas.